Well, you come across things that you just don't think are right. You just don't think that your God would be like that. In other words, it's less of a head thinking actually than a feeling of the heart. This is not my God. And it doesn't matter how logical the argument seems to be. To some extent it matters who's giving it. That gives you quite a clue. But not always. I mean, even I, says he in all modesty, have been wrong on some very logical expositions. In other words, your whole desire is to be led by the Holy Spirit, which is of the heart. It's not that the Spirit's going to be irrational. It's just that our powers of rationality are nothing like as good as we'd hope. And when all's said and done, it's all vitally dependent on what the assumptions are that you're making. And you can be way off the mark, therefore, in your conclusions, simply because your assumptions don't match spiritual reality. So, you're worshipping your God, not someone else's. And if this discourse you're listening to, or this video that you're watching, or program, or talk, or lecture, or sermon, or Christian song, supposedly, well, yeah, whatever, doesn't add up to the mark of your view of your God, you don't have to accept it, regardless actually of who's saying it, or how rational the argument seems to be, or how point blank the evidence, supposedly. You value your God, the personification of what you have found to value in your heart. I listened to a criticism of some public figure, and it was supposedly someone who had a near-death experience and went to hell, and there he was, and the reason why he was there, and what an appalling criticism of the guy, and how much verbatim report are we supposed to believe is word to word remembered? I don't think so, unless that was a miracle too, that he remembers every word that was said. No, I don't have to go with that. It's not of my God. I don't have to run with other people's judgment. And I trust the Holy Spirit within me to guide me through all sorts of false things that are presented, evil reports and assessments and theories and views. And I also trust the Holy Spirit to lead me away from even having to consider such. So I get an impression in the situation, perhaps from the words actually being used, the way it's being presented, the manner of the person talking. I go on this as my leading as to the validity that this argument's likely to be, this presentation. Do you see? I'm looking for a feeling of, is this really my scene, this discourse here? And if I think not, I wipe it from the mind fast. I starve it of further thought. There are guiding points, aren't there? I mean, is it kind? Is this a blessing? Is it of good intent? Is it honest? Is it biased? What sort of bias? Has the source been reliable, or is it just an unknown source? You're looking for integrity, you see. You're looking for the product of good motive. Someone who wants to bless humanity, not persecute someone or group in it. You're looking for purity, you see. That which is consistent with the love of God. Not looking for the explosive or the violent, the loud, the forceful, the too smart, the too right. You're not looking for pomp or authority, dominant bearing, dismissive, derisive, jokes at other people's expense. You're not looking to be entertained, thrilled, excited, deceived. It's from this sort of view, you see, that we can become sensitive to the Spirit's leading. What's God saying here? Is God telling me something here? Is He leading me? Or am I being told of the Spirit that you don't want anything to do with this? Thank you, Heaven.